The climate and soil conditions in this country create a favorable environment for native trees to thrive. Most common of them are neem tree, moringa, and African palm. Now, planting these trees provides support for different kinds of life in the forest. They also provide shade, timber, and medicinal properties. A forest conservationist, Kunle Olashopo, gives more insights on this.
This forest is actually a secondary forest. The anthropogenic activities that people have been doing here is more of farming. People have been, like you, cutting down the natural habitats. Sometimes people cut down the trees to make charcoal. People do a lot of construction. So all those ones, they are more of anthropogenic activities. Sometimes people go to kill animals. So you collect some plant parts, maybe for medicine or for consumption. So those are the anthropogenic activities that I mean. So human impact. So when a natural forest grows by itself, so it's being called a secondary forest. So that could allow some alien plants, some exotic plants, those ones that are not actually native to that environment, to that natural ecosystem. Challenges we've been facing so far in this forest is, so far it's not a natural forest, that is a natural regrowth. So we've been having challenges to have a lot of gaps in this forest because the exotic species, those ones that normally that have invasive property, so they cover some areas. They don't allow some other things to grow around them because many of them, they have some what we call allelopathic property. So they will have some sort of chemicals they release naturally around their environment. They don't allow some other things to grow around them. So that is why they will now be the only one in that area, turning a tropical forest to more like a temperate forest. Like you get to a temperate forest, you are going to see only one species in very large area of land. But the beauty of a tropical forest, most especially the natural forest in Africa, is to have diversity of plant. You can see obeche very close to Iroko being close to another mahogany. So that is the beauty of the African forest. In our checklist in our ITA, we have over 270 species of birds, so over 200 species of butterflies, 48 mammals. So like the mammals that you are talking about, which is the wildlife, like we have the blue duiker, like a small antelope. We have that. We have the tree hyrax, we have the marsh mongoose, we have the pangolin, the endangered pangolin in this forest. We have it there. We also have a lot of squirrels, a lot of ground squirrel. We have these flying squirrels also. We have them. So we have bushbuck, the giant antelope that is common to West Africa. We have the African civets. So, but different types of mammal that we have, there are 48 in types in our checklist. So also we have 28 reptiles like the snakes, the monitor lizard. We have like the rock python. We have the green and black mambas. You have to be somebody that is skillful. You must be knowledgeable about trees. Just like me, the way I know about trees is just about me going to the college. It's not that enough, but the passion in me, seeing something green. So, but in line with the knowledge that I've had now, what I understand is that you will have gone to different habitats, different places. Let's say now, the kind of tree you are going to see in Ibadan metropolis or Ibadan forest and the northern part of Oyo State is quite different. So like when you go to somewhere like Edo State, so it's going to be different. So Ibadan is just like a mixture of savanna and forest area. So when you go to Edo State, you are going to see a lot of bigger trees, a lot of mahoganies, like a real natural forest. So if you have those ideas, you will know that this is a savanna tree and it's fitting for certain area or the other. So there's no way, with the knowledge, the skill, and some of the literatures that you expose yourself to and you build partners, you should be able to know that, okay, this one fitting for this. Like we have some trees that show preference to rocky areas. There are some trees that show reference to like stony areas. So a lot of trees show reference to water area. They are water-loving trees. So when you plant them in a marsh area, they survive very well. Just like in Lagos, when you see Lagos like Lekki area, so there are some species of trees, they can only survive in that kind of mangrove forest. So without that area, there's no other place for them to survive. In this forest, RITA forest that we have, is the only one that I would say is protected. The only one remaining as the remaining urban forest that we have in the southwest Nigeria, most especially being protected in the aspect of protection. So go out of this place, no other forest that has been protected. And if they are protected, maybe they are protected for farming, maybe for logging activities. So there's nothing like, the only, like we are struggling with nothing less than, from literature, they will say we are struggling with 3 to 4% of forest lands. You know, the Food and Agricultural Organization of the world, they just put it that there's a standard, they put 25% of a nation land area should be considered as a forest area. So, but in Nigeria now, we are struggling with less than 3%. So it's quite low. So we don't even know we are not even sure whether the 3% still exists. Because when you go out there, you go to the forest, you are going to see an open land. We could start from creating awareness, most especially to the young generations. So like RITA runs school conservation clubs, and everything we do in terms of restoration, the seed collections, we also do it here. So let's do the awareness, the publicity, whether on Twitter, every different means of like publicizing it. Let people be aware of our own trees, most especially competition within the urban centers. People can plant our native trees. Like a lot of junctions are named after local trees, like Ibadan or Lagos. You will hear Idi Araba, Idi Obi, Idi Oro. They are all our native trees. Idi Ori, like Phytex doniana. So those are the things that we should do. We should bring them back to be close to people, like encouraging people to have home garden, keep home gardens, plant some trees that will not disturb your property, like destroying your fence. 1 or 2 is okay, just for one plot of land is okay, because a tree, it is been proven scientifically that a tree will supply the required oxygen for 4 people. So if you are a couple, you have 2 kids, so you are fine with 1 tree. So you could do a kind of urban planting. Let it be sensitized. Also, the government should also contribute to this. They can sponsor habitat restoration. Some of this, a very big vast area of land that has been destroyed, and it should be native trees. Not that a public figure will now be planting something like all these alien plants. We are not from California. We are not an American. We are not from Europe. We are Nigerians. We are Africans. So we should plant our own native trees, and this will now be a very good abode for our living organisms, for our wildlife, for our butterflies, for our insects, and different things that we have that God has created in our natural ecosystem.
So they'll climb on it, they'll scratch it, and then it will now bring out lots of ants. Yes. I visited that place in Omo, and that's what And that's about it on this week's edition of Green Angle. Until I come your way next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Mokwariola. Bye for now.